Welcome to You Lead the Podcast. I'm Melanie, your transformational coach and mentor, and I created You Lead to break down the stigma that is keeping us small and holding us back from living the lives we dream of. We go beyond the basics to create a life where you are the leading force so you can thrive in your body, relationship, wealth, money, business, and spiritual connections. Where we rewire your nervous system and truly expand into living a free and alive life. In these episodes, we will have juicy conversation full of all the quotes, tools, tips that really work. Anything is possible with a calm nervous system, radical honesty, and where you are the one leading in all areas of your life. I can't wait for you to see the magic waiting for you on the other side of this journey. With that, let's get into the episode. So hi everyone, and welcome to a new episode of You Lead the Podcast. So this is the first solo episode that I'm going to be putting out there. It's going to be a new thing for me, and I'm just going to be quite honest. It's weird for me to just be sitting here not seeing anyone and looking anyone in the eyes. Well, I actually have a mirror where I look myself in the eyes just to feel like I am talking to someone. But I'm super excited to be having this channel and to be able to do these episodes and sharing these informations for you to just dive deep into yourself and really be able to take charge in your life and in general also in my life, because now I'm just taking charge of myself and going all in with it. So I was thinking of what should the very first episode be around that I wanted to put out there and share, and instantly something came up for me. It was affirmations. So in this episode, we're going to dive deep into why your affirmations are blocking you from achieving what you desire, why do it now mantra can shoot down your nervous system, and just go into what to do instead and why is that actually. Before we're actually going on with talking about affirmation, I just wanted to quickly go around in the essence of what are affirmations or mantra that someone is also calling it is. So they are sentences that you are say to yourself, saying them out loud, or just internally repeating them to yourself to rewire subconscious and to create new neural pathways for your beliefs and thoughts and thinking. So in general, they are a really powerful way to reinforce something within you and to create new habits of thinking, I would say. And why I actually wanted to do this episode around affirmation is because I was thinking of doing an episode on what was actually my journey and where did I start and how did I come around all this kind of nervous system stuff, nervous system regulation around emotions, around traumas and all that. And I instantly thought or recognized that affirmations were actually where I started, and it was also the thing that I now in hindsight can see was something that was putting my system in a dysregulated state. And I remember I was sitting at my office at the corporate job where it was my first job after I had my first son. It was overwhelming. I couldn't understand why I was sitting here at the desk, just have someone else to look after my child. And I was feeling stuck, I guess. And I remember my mom sent me the link to Louise Hay. If you don't know her, she was unfortunately she passed away, but she was famous with her work on affirmations and how the body and the mind are connected, and the work she put out there was really powerful and is still really powerful, and I still use affirmation. But one thing I learned back then that I was back then using affirmation in some wrong way. And yeah, I remember my mom, she created also really beautiful posters with affirmation that would fit around a topic that she would think of and wanted to have an effect on, and my world as well. I wanted to become more confident in myself, so I also created posters that I could look at each day and saying that, stating these affirmations out loud. So I would actually say I became like a broken record around these affirmations. I would say them all the time, and I would feel like no or just little changes. I would feel like some minor changes, and then I felt like I was right back where I started. I still had anxiety. I was struggling with anxiety for so long, and I thought affirmation should be like the thing that would save me from my anxiety. But it was still there. It was still something that I struggled. I actually also think that I was struggling more with it after doing the affirmations. But again, I will elaborate on that in a second. I also still had low self-confidence, even though I was saying every day that I'm confident. I would still feel that. And I was also just really frustrating around doing these affirmations for so long and still lacking seeing the results. And I reckon most of my clients also started somewhere, and many of us started with happy thoughts and saying affirmations, visualizing yourself in the state that you want to be in. And what I learned actually is that the reason why I didn't see any results wasn't the 5 minutes a day I was saying these affirmations, but it was how I felt the 23 hours and 55 minutes after that. So you see, because I was saying these affirmations, but my nervous system didn't feel safe in receiving it. And nervous system, for you who don't know, is where we store unprocessed emotion, traumas, limiting beliefs, and the main purpose of your nervous system is to feel safe and to keep you safe from the unknown. And 99% of our thoughts, behaviors, patterns are run unconsciously without us even thinking of it. So if you're thinking of, like, consciously trying to think of something, but you have unconscious programming that are stored in your subconscious that are totally opposite of the truth that you're trying to say out loud, it's just going to trigger your nervous system. So all that we have experienced since we were born are programmed into our subconscious. That's the reality of when you were born, also in generational or past lives. It's all stored in our body, in the subconscious. And our nervous system is then regulated around these beliefs, these stories, and the programming that created this self-image of what is possible for us. So when you, for instance, I could also say, like, just giving myself an example, I experienced when I was in high school that I wanted to speak up in class, tell something, and I experienced being laughed at. Probably now, because I do also have kids, I see how minor these things can be as an adult looking at it, but as a kid I felt really heavily an emotion around being laughed at while trying to say something, and that created then a belief of that I cannot speak up because then I'll be laughed at and it's not safe for me. And then growing older and older, you then it becomes like a self-prophecy of a pattern that is kept repeating until the loop of it, like the cycle of it is broken, is released from it. And all these programming that our nervous system is regulated around is then, as I said, creating this self-image is for what is possible for us. And our subconscious mind will never allow anything greater than our self-image and anything greater than our programming to come in, to be received. And the 1% that I'm talking about is us saying these affirmations. So it's us stating out loud, I'm confident, I'm enough, I'm a millionaire, and all that kind of stuff. And saying that out loud to myself back then, even before I knew about this stuff, was actually triggering all my inner programming of why I'm not worthy of receiving it. Or I just had an unconscious fear of receiving it. Probably a trauma, probably an unprocessed emotion that was stuck within me, keeping me repeating these thought patterns and this behavior, and actually making making my nervous system reject these affirmations. So I'm just quickly interrupting this episode to just let you know that Thrive opens soon. And Thrive is my signature program that is opening in the end of April, and is designed to help you reclaim control of your life and rediscover the joy in every moment. So are you tired of feeling overwhelmed, anxious, and burnout? And do you find yourself struggling to be present, constantly battling negative thought spirals that keep you from fully experiencing life's blessings? And you struggle to lose weight and you feel like everything you do feels hard. So in Thrive, we focus on creating safety within your body, allowing you to thrive in all areas of your life. By regulating the nervous system, we clear out the clutter of unprocessed emotion and trauma, making room for expansion and deep connection with your inner self. Imagine waking up each day feeling refreshed and excited, ready to embrace the world with open arms. With Thrive, success means life feeling yummy, fun, and joyful again. It's all about regulating yourself with your true desires, clearing away limiting beliefs and unnecessary pressure, and start living, not just surviving. Don't let another day go by without taking action toward reclaiming your happiness and living your most fulfilling life. The doors open soon, and I'll leave the link in the description below. Let's get back to the episode. So what you want to do and what we are going to do is, when you want to create a change and use these affirmations, we have to look at how we actually are creating change in our lives. And most of us, we are working on a physical level instead of an emotional level of change. So, and probably you, as many of us know, we say that change is created from the inside, but not many of us actually understand what we mean about that. And thinking, meditating, and doing affirmations and all that are great tools, and also somewhat also a tool to create change from the inside. But what we actually mean is that we want to work on our subconscious mind and our subconscious body to release the stored emotion and the stored trauma that are keeping us stuck in that state. But again, we were taught to look for external solution. If you want to lose weight, right, you join a membership. And if you want to eat healthier, you take a trip to the supermarket, right? You start grocery shopping in a different way and wanted to eat healthier, right? And then we got told, want to be more confident, then just say out loud, say affirmation, but forgetting the emotional part of it. If we want to change, we want to change the programming of it. We want to heal the root cause of what is creating that self-image of us within us internally. We want to rewire the nervous system to go stepping into the next level of the version that you really decide to become. So if you have affirmation saying that you want to become, I just have to think of an example. Let's say you want to become more healthier. Like if you want to see yourself in walk in a bikini this summer and just feeling really confident about yourself and feeling really good, and you probably also want to feel strong, right? So if you want to do that, rewiring your nervous system is to that next level is first, as I said, healing the root cause of what is creating that self-image of you of what is not possible. Healing those unprocessed emotion and trauma, and then just creating that space where we can rewire in what we want to believe in instead, and what we want to have our nervous system be regulated towards too. So what our nervous system wasn't feeling safe in receiving beforehand because it was unknown, because it was something that we didn't want to be fully, that we couldn't, because the programming just wasn't there around receiving it. Rewiring your nervous system after healing the root cause of it will then help you to really step into that next level of yourself. And you will actually find that without you even trying, your nervous system will actually somehow gravitate to that person, because like gravitate not to that person but that version of yourself that you really deeply desire to become, because your nervous system then feels safe in receiving that. So taking those steps will then feel a lot less harder. Would feel like more of it's like just something you do. Not saying that things cannot be hard, but it's like going to the gym, right? You or just working out. I do work out a lot, and if you're starting something new, a new workout or something like that, it you don't go there and then just expect it to be easy, right? You don't go there and expect it that you can just lift some weights and that will be it without actually breaking a sweat. We know that creating a next level of ourselves will mean that we need to have like some sort of workout done, just to be in that workout explanation. So when I talk about rewiring your nervous system and having an easier journey, or let it feel more easy at flow and just coming natural to you, I'm not saying it's going to be easy as if we are skipping some steps, but it will be uncomfortable. It can be uncomfortable, and probably will, because it's still unknown. It's still like breaking free of your comfort zone, but you're building the muscle, right? You're building that strength. You're building that version of you that you really desire to become, but your nervous system isn't rejecting it, because your nervous system feels safe in receiving it. Does that make sense? Lastly, what you want to do is expanding your capacity to receive more, aka holding more. Because doing affirmations or just being in that sense of wanting to receive, you will sometime also be able to receive what you are trying to achieve, right? But holding onto it, or holding the results for longer than just I would say a hot second, takes expanding your nervous system of it. It's like if you also see people reaching some sort of income level, they finally receive something, a bigger amount of money, and what they actually decide to receive, but within a second they spend it all, right? And even those who win the lottery, we see that I don't remember I don't remember what the numbers were, but I read somewhere that's really low percentage of those who actually win the lottery that within the next 3 or 5 years still have the money left from it, because they spend it all. And why? Because they received it, probably, even though also saying affirmation around. I don't know if you play the lottery, you actually put the intention out that you want to receive it. And then when you receive it, your nervous system is completely rejecting and afraid of holding what you received, because it doesn't feel safe in having that. And by that day, it will unconsciously make you spend the money or reject the money or just not hold on to the money, because it doesn't feel safe in receiving that. So we want to heal the root cause. We want to rewire the nervous system to tapping into the next level of you, and we want to expand your capacity to hold more by doing so. And these 3 steps I wasn't aware of when I started, right? I was just saying out of affirmation each day and hoping for something to click. And in the end, my nervous system was just instantly triggered around these affirmations and not really feeling safe in receiving them. But what I now do when I work and use affirmation, I use affirmation as a tool to reinforce the new programming. So now when there's no trigger towards using them, because I heal the root cause of what's triggering it, and then I use affirmation in my EFT tapping. When I do that, that's emotional freedom technique tapping. It's amazing. And I use that when I am just looking myself in the mirror and saying things out loud. I use that when I'm driving in my car. I use affirmations all the time, but I use them as a reinforcement to the new programming, to the new way of thinking, the new way of how I think and how I feel. So there's no unprocessed emotion and trauma, and my subconscious can better accept the suggestions from the affirmations, right? When I have healed myself from the unprocessed emotion and unprocessed traumas that was keeping my nervous system in this trigger loop and keeping myself stuck in this bodily reaction of these affirmations. And now my subconscious can better accept the suggestions and help me repel forward instead of pulling me back, right? And my body can better regulate to the new shape, the new soma of someone who holds that truth, that new belief. Because I somatically also integrated these affirmations to really have this deep inner change within myself, right? So I don't think that affirmations are bad for you. It's just only bad if we're doing it the wrong way, if we are forgetting these essential steps to using those as affirmation. So I hope that you can see affirmations as a great tool to supporting you in the growth, as it did for me. And I hope I can spare you from months of saying affirmations and not seeing any results. Affirmations are great, but healing the root cause of what is making your nervous system not feeling safe in receiving what you actually desire, in receiving and accepting these affirmations is a lot better and a lot easier and a lot faster. I hope this episode finds you well, and if you got anything out of this information, please share it on your social and tag me at Melanie _ on Instagram, and also Melanie _ at TikTok. I am still getting used to using that platform, but I'm there. And also please leave a review on whatever podcast platform you are listening from to really push this out, as this is a completely new podcast, and I would love for this to be like a channel where we can follow each other's journey and help us regulate our nervous system so we can thrive in all areas of life. So we want to do that. We want to take control of our lives, and as I said, you lead, you take control, and then you thrive in all of your lives. So, and I guess by that, I'll talk to you in the next episode.